Hello guys, welcome to Pokédex. Today we're going to be talking about a different subject. This is one of those videos that I think they work better in written form, in an article, and I will be writing an article and posting it on my blog. You can check it out, the link will be in the description for this video, but I promised I would make a video for the people that only follow me on YouTube, so that's what I'm doing right now. Maybe I don't think the video is going to be very interesting, but maybe if you're like me, you probably listen to podcasts and stuff while you work, so maybe you can listen to this as well and find something useful to do with your eyes while you listen. So, in my Verizon Genesect video, the user The Diamond Ninja asked, "Hey Pokédex, nice vid, keep up the good work. Also, I have a question. How do you get so many EX cards, Ace packs, etc.? It's like you have all the right cards for every deck. Do you buy code cards?" The short answer is I have bought code cards in the past. I haven't bought them in a long time, and I don't think I will be needing to do so anytime soon. But I felt like there was a deeper answer, which is there's a lot of stuff that I think I did, like when I was trying to maximize my collection, that I don't think most people do. And I think I have a lot of lessons to share about my own history with the game that maybe will help people maximize their own collection. So I have written the article. I will be using it as reference. Maybe I'll just start reading from it and add stuff as I find fitting, so that this video isn't just me reading stuff. So as I said, this is really rooted in my own personal story with the game, and I think it's cool to tell the story just so that you guys have something that ties the lessons together. So there was a method to the madness, so to speak. So I started playing Pokemon trading card game online before I started playing it on paper. Well, actually, that's not really true, because I did play on paper when the first edition came out. Yes, I am old. I started playing in first edition, but I quit after Fossil edition, which was, okay, so that was the base set, the Jungle edition, and then Fossil, and I quit after that. So I didn't play for long. I do remember the first decks I had. I remember actually my friends and I we were on a lot on the internet, and there was some talk about what decks were good or not, and we actually had like the top decks of the time, which was surprising because I also played Magic the Gathering and it was impossible to have those because of the cost of the cards. So the best decks back then were like the Haymaker. I had a Scyther deck and also a Mewtwo deck from the movie promo. There was the Pokemon movie. And the Mewtwo EX had a great attack to circumvent the energy removals, which were rampant back then. Can't even tell you how annoying that time was. So yeah, just a small aside on that. I quit the game back then. And recently I started, like back in May of this year, 2004, because of Magic Online. I wanted to play... as you guys, I already said this, so you guys probably know this. I played Magic for a long time, and I still do sometimes, but not as much as I used to. I don't have a lot of time for hobbies, and Pokemon is basically the thing that's taking most of my hobbying time right now. So I wanted to play Magic the Gathering a lot more than I did, like testing and such. And Magic Online, well, first of all, the client sucks. It's a terrible, terrible piece of software. And second of all, there's no Mac version, and I only have a MacBook at home, and I only use MacBooks as my work computer. So I couldn't use Magic the Gathering online. So I was complaining about this to a friend of mine, and he said, "Well, why don't you play Hearthstone or Pokemon trading card game online?" And I said, "Pokemon trading card game online, is that cool? I mean, I used to play back when I was a kid, but I'm not sure how the game is and stuff like that." And he said, "Actually, the client is it's my favorite client out there. Super, super cool. Like everything works nicely. I'm not saying you won't have problems, but much less than most of games. So, and the game is actually pretty nice. And I said, wow, that's interesting. So when I got home, I downloaded the client. I started playing like theme decks against other theme decks, and I really liked it. So I asked my friend, "What did you do? How did you start? How did you start getting a collection going on?" And he said, "Well, when I start playing a trading card game, I immediately know I have to make a small investment in order to start playing. So I spent some money, bought some codes on eBay, and got my boosters from there. So that's also what I did. I went to eBay. I spent like, I think it was something around 30 euros. I got like 100 codes. Um, and you guys might be wondering, what cool cards did I get from those codes? And my answer is, I don't know, because I never opened them. This is one of the first lessons that I want to give you guys. Online boosters, the ones that are unlocked, you should never ever open them. The online boosters are like the currency on trading card game online. In my article, I explain this in more detail. If you need more reasons than just my word on it, you can. If you don't believe me, I think I make a good point in the article. Actually, two good points. So the tradable boosters are your coin, so to speak. So you should never open them. I mean, if you open a booster, on average, it will be worth less. So it's better not to open them and use them to trade for exactly the cards you want. So as I was saying, I bought the boosters and I did some research. I went online to Pokemon trading card game websites looking for a deck list. Well, the first deck that caught my eye, I have the tab open here. I found this site, Pro Pokemon. And the first deck that caught my eye was Darkrai Yveltal. I looked at this card, this Yveltal EX card, and mind you, I was used to theme decks and first edition base set Pokemon. So when I looked at Yveltal EX, you guys can imagine my reaction. This is a beast of a Pokemon. It's super strong. It's not even. It's kind of unreal. So I took this list. I built it card by card for card, as much as my instincts told me maybe this card wasn't that good or maybe that card wasn't that good. I had to trust someone that knew more than I did, because I assumed I was a total noob. Maybe a card was there for a certain reason and I wasn't seeing that reason. So yeah, this is the first deck that I built. As I told you, I did a lot of research. I looked a lot into the trades. You have the public offers. I compared a lot of prices for cards, and I asked around. I went to the chat rooms and I asked people how much were they selling their cards for boosters. I compared prices between people. I hustled a little bit, like I negotiated with people, telling them, okay, I get a guy that does a lower price. How much can you do? I'll buy extra cards if you do a certain price. So I hustled a little bit. I got the full deck in less than 50 cards. 50 packs, I think. Yeah, more like 40, something like that. And I even believe I could have gotten it in much less, because I was kind of in a hurry, to get the Pokemon. For example, in my Evoltals, I think I got them for like 4 boosters, and I think I could have gotten them for much less. I think I know how to trade pretty well. That's a skill you get as you do it. I also be writing a little insider on trading. I don't want to talk a lot about that here, because I think the video would get boring. Maybe I'll do a special video just on trading, where I actually take some practical examples to show you guys. But what I mean is, just to keep going with my story, I traded for my first deck, and this was really important. I was kind of lucky because I had no way to find out if that deck was any good or not. I mean, from the article, it seemed like it was. So that's the first deck I built. And this is another great lesson that I want to share with you guys. It's really, really important to build, like to have a certain deck in mind and to save the packs, to save money, to save everything you have and build that deck. You also have to keep in mind that rotations happen and stuff like that. So if you're close to a rotation, try to find cards that will not rotate out, because you basically would lose your deck. So the first deck is really important for a single reason, which is you might struggle to build your first deck, but from then on it's way easier to get cards. For this is the second part in my story, which is after I started playing the Ivoltol deck, I decided I wanted to play the deck on paper as well. Actually, at that time, I wasn't playing Ivoltol anymore. I was playing like big basics. I was spending more boosters, and I built the big basics Aromatisse deck, which was pretty cool online. It was beating my Ivoltol deck, so I built the Aromatisse big basic deck, and I was loving it. I mean, it's totally my thing. Like having the Aromatisse to pull all sorts of tricks. That was really my sort of deck. So that ended up being the deck that I built on paper, and I actually won the first two tournaments I played in, like small tournaments, obviously in my local game store, but there were some good players there. It made me feel good, got me some boosters, which was awesome. Like every time I went into a tournament, I was spending like the tournaments we have here. It's like you can spend €2.5 and just play the tournament, or spend €6 and get a free booster on the when you sign up. So because the boosters cost €5 normally, it actually pays up to buy the booster with a tournament. And if you won the tournament, and I did back then, and I still do sometimes, you get 2 extra boosters. So it's like you're buying 3 boosters for €6, plus you get all the experience and the enjoyment of being in a tournament. So that's another revenue stream. Like that's another place where you can get your boosters. If you're playing on paper already, maybe you want to save up, buy a decent deck, like a strong deck. In my article, I talk about, I think Speed Lugia is actually a wonderful deck to start with, because I think the cards are actually pretty easy to find. They're not that expensive compared to other stuff. Like Lugias are like, I bought mine for like €5, and I traded for 1 pack each online. So I think it's really, really cheap for that kind of power. You won't be, of course, there's also, the deck has some auto losses, but you don't really care. I mean, if the deck is strong, you are bound to be winning more than you're going to be losing. So, and that will generate cards. Another way that I generated some cards online was, and this is one of the possibly the biggest in change, was in July, around the US Nationals, if I remember correctly. There were a lot of tournament tests going on. Pokemon trading card game does that on sometimes. You have on the front page when you log in, there's a warning. Usually when there's going to be tournaments, they warn you. There's a warning there, and they say there's a set tournament test scheduled for such and such date. So, and it's going to last 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. So I basically canceled everything I had for that night, and I played the whole hours of the tournament. And because I was playing, first of all, the first tournament I tested, I was playing the big basics deck, and the matches were taking too long, and I as soon as I finished one, I started the next round. I didn't have time to rest. Plus, when I lost, the game still took a long time, because the deck was pretty nice, but when it lost, it had already taken a long time to lose. So I didn't get into as many tournament queues as I wished I would. So I changed decks. I built that's the time I built the plasma deck, with a few boosters that were left. And plasma decks are awesome to go into tournament queues. I mean, if you win the tournament, you get 8 packs, and they are all tradable. It's insane. Seriously, if you spend like 4 hours. One of those tournaments were like 4 hours, and I was playing the Speed Lugia deck. Seriously, I got something around 40 boosters, something like that. It was insane. Seriously. And with all those boosters, I actually ended up buying the tropical beaches online. Man, it was insane. That basically kept me going for a long time. I bought a lot of cards from the tournament tests. I can't guarantee you guys that they're going to be happening again. I can't guarantee you that they're going to be happening with the same prize structures. Maybe they'll be worth less, maybe they'll be worth more. I don't know. I can't say anything about that, but keep your eyes open for tournaments. They are really, really, really important. Okay, so let me look into my article, because I don't know what I was going to talk about next. The next thing on my article is is how to trade properly. I think most people, as I said before, I don't want to go into a lot of detail. The thing is, it's understandable that you spend some extra cards to get your deck faster, but once you have like a stable deck, you can actually. I'll pick the trade I'm currently going for at the moment. So I'm building the Donphan deck with Kyurem and Zekrom. I didn't have any Kyurem, normal Kyurem or Zekrom, so I'm trying to get someone to trade them for me. So it could be just one of each. That's what the lists go for, but because I'm not sure that's what I'll be needing, maybe the deck will need two of Zekrom, for example. I don't know. I don't know how the deck lists might change, so I'm buying extras just to be sure. So imagine that I want to buy like 2 Kyurem and 2 Zekrom. First of all, I put a similar trade yesterday, and nobody accepted it. Doesn't matter. I'll just add another one. I have time. I don't need the deck right now, and add another booster. Sometimes this technique, and just go for the exact same amount that I did before. Sometimes this technique works. Sometimes it doesn't. You have to go add an extra booster. But sometimes the problem is you're asking for a premium version, like this Zekrom is actually rare but not foil. I don't think there's any Kyurem that's not foil. And that's the outrage attack. I'm not sure. Maybe I failed when I was looking at them. So I don't know. It doesn't really matter what kind of bling they have. I mean, I just want the regular version. I mean, any version will do as long as they have the outrage attack, really. So yeah, you have to be patient. You have to create trades, hope someone bites. Maybe someone will be looking for a quick booster because they really need it to build their deck or something like that, and you get the cards you want eventually. So you have to be patient. Just start low and keep increasing the things you're giving. And that's basically how we do it. Last night I created a trade for a Kangaskhan X and a Mega Kangaskhan X for 2 boosters. Nobody accepted it. I raised for 3 because I thought, okay, 3 boosters, that still seems fair. And somebody accepted it today. So yeah, I went, you start low. If people don't accept it, okay, 3 boosters it is. I have the boosters to spare, so there they were. There's another thing that I think people overlook a lot, and I make a big point about this in the article, which is, you see this trainer challenge? You seriously, you have to complete all this stuff. What does it give you, you ask? Well, you basically just get, first of all, you get a lot of gold tokens, and I'm going to talk about tokens in a minute, but if you guys, okay, let's pick a deck that I have actually played this with. So I have beaten every single opponent with the most decks that I could, because they gave out before, when you're filling up these bars, the stars on each opponent, they give a lot of tokens and also extra boosters. They're locked boosters, sure, but you have to make the most you can out of everything that the game gives you for free. The locked boosters, you are not able to trade the cards, but you are able to use them, and that's pretty strong for something that's free, right? So in the shop you can spend the tokens you have, and the cards you get are also locked. But that's also pretty nice because some of these decks have junipers, some have roller skates, some have for example, this one has the baby Landorus, this one has Eevees, and also uh, I don't know, I think it's Pokemon Center Lady, which is a pretty decent supporter. So I never bought boosters with the tokens. I only bought the theme decks because I think I like to know exactly what I'm getting. So I bought two of these Yveltal decks because I wanted to get all four of the baby Yveltals. As you guys know, I did a video on that, and I bought, and all my baby Yveltals are locked because I got them from here. I actually had some that I traded for back then, but then as soon as I got the untradeable ones, the locked ones, I traded my extra cards, and that's the strength of it. So as I was playing the trainer challenge, as I was saying, one of the boosters that I opened had a computer search. I already had a computer search, but mine wasn't locked. What do I do? Well, as you can see in my collection, my computer search is locked because this is the one I got from my booster, and I traded the other one for like four or five, yeah, something like around five boosters, which allowed me to trade for something else. So actually, playing on the trainer challenge that day gave me a booster that was actually the locked booster that was actually worth five unlocked boosters. So as you guys see, you really can make a lot of out of the free stuff people give you. Actually, you have one booster to open, one locked booster, so we might as well do that right here, just to make this video a little more enjoyable. This is the one I'm using on the trade, so I'm going to be doing a small trick here. I'm going to be picking a friend of mine that's offline for sure, and I'm going to offer him a trade. This is a small trick that I'm teaching you guys. I'm giving, so he's giving me whatever, and I'm giving him these two boosters. I'm doing this because sometimes you open when you're going to open boosters. This has happened to me more than once when I have locked boosters and unlocked boosters, and you open a booster and it opens the unlocked one, and that's terrible. I hate that. So I'm going to lock them by offering them in a trade. And now that they're locked, I'm going into my collection. I'm going to open my booster. Let's see what we got. Nothing too interesting. I was hoping for some cool cards so that I could. Oh, actually, we have a Blastoise. Wow, this was cool. So I do have Blastoise. Let's see how many Blastoise I have in my collection. So first of all, let's cancel the trade. That was just there for booster locking purposes. Alright, trade is cancelled. Let's go into, not deck manager, sorry, collection. Yeah, so now we can trade one Blastoise. See, that was nice. I had three Blastoise. Actually, they all have the similar drawing. I don't like having, yeah. I don't know, this one is foiled, maybe I'll trade this one. Trying to get a booster out of that, just so that we can, which basically will mean that we trade a tradable booster for an untradable one, and we keep the same collection that we had before. So it's all profit, and it's all free. That's another thing that I urge you guys to do. The last point I'm going to be making today is, I'm sorry, look around. There's a lot of free stuff going on. The last week there was or 2 weeks ago, something like that, there was this Reddit post about free boosters. I heard about it from Top Cut's Twitter. I follow Top Cut on Twitter, and someone posted that there was this thread going on or something like that. I mean, there were a lot of codes being given away to celebrate the fact that Pokemon Trading Card Game Online was going on iPad. So to let people, to help people start their collections, they were giving a lot of stuff away. So I was I saw that. I obviously cashed in the codes for packs as well, and now I have pretty much all of these packs came from that, except maybe these Furious Fist packs that I got from my last tournament. So that's how you get packs, and by saving them, by being really careful with your trades, you can start building little by little. You can start building your collection. So if you guys want to go through all the points that I made, I can recall them really quickly. I'll also be listing everything, like every single point separately in my article, like in the end of the article, like as a conclusion. So these are all my points. I'm reading from the article. First of all, play the single player challenge all the way, the trainer challenge. Second of all, play a lot so that you get the free coins, cards, and boosters. Yeah, another thing. Sorry, I forgot about this. Every time you play now, because there's the roulette, which was an awesome addition, you can get tradable boosters out of that. So it's just another reason to play even more. If all the reasons listed before weren't enough, now you have even even more reasons to do so. The third point, never open unlocked boosters. Fourth point, know the deck lists of the theme decks that are up for sale and buy those that give cards you need. Buy more than one copy to get multiple cards. Number 5, save some money to invest in some online boosters or get a lot of codes from real boosters. This will allow you to build your first deck, which in turn will give you more cards. Totally optional this point, but keep that in mind if you're going to make a small investment like €30 or $30. I don't think that's that much to start with a huge online collection that you can build upon. Number 6, choose your first deck carefully. It should be good, cheap, and have quick matches. Number 7, play all the online tournaments there are. If you guys can catch tournaments, seriously, do it. Cancel every plans you might have for the tournament nights and just play the tournaments. Number 8, look around for free stuff. As I said before, follow all the blogs, all the Twitter feeds, all the YouTube channels you can, and keep your eyes open for free stuff. Number 9, do some research before spending boosters, money, coins. This is really important. You should research before trading. You should research before building your decks. If you're on a budget, you have to be really careful where you spend your boosters and your money. And number 9, no, sorry, I already said number 9. Number 10 is learn how to trade. So these are my points. That's my, not magic, but that's my recipe for maximizing your collection. You're probably already doing some of this stuff, but I bet there's some point there that you weren't paying enough attention to it. And everything adds up, you know? It's when you're on a budget, every little thing counts. That extra booster will grab an extra card, an extra EX Pokemon, and you have to be careful. You have to keep your eyes open for that, because when you're maximizing your stuff and you're on a budget, everything helps. So I hope you guys like this. If you guys have feedback for me, I'm glad to listen to it. I hope I didn't bore you too much. I really think this works better in written form. So if you can spare the time, please read the article. It's way better than the video. I think the quality is much better. I don't have an accent when I write, and I actually think I write pretty well, way better than I speak. So if you guys have the time, look into the article as well. So I'm signing off for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, which was kind of different from the usual videos that I post. So feel free to tell me anything you want. Oh yeah, an extra thing. If you guys want, you can add me on Pokemon Trading Card Game Online. If you guys see me online, you're free to ask for a battle, but please talk to me on the chat first and tell me what kind of battle you want. If you want me to play a specific deck, or if you want me to play just a normal standard deck, or if you're just looking for a fun game and you want me to play a weird deck, I'll do that gladly. I'll just give me 5 minutes to build a deck and I'll do it. I'll battle you. So if you guys want, just add me. It's Razark, as you guys see here. So yeah, nothing much else to add. I hope to see you guys next